All right, welcome back to the show, everyone, and good afternoon to you. Hope you guys are having a good day so far. I wanted to check out this interview. Actually, I've been wanting to check this out for a while. This is titled Michael Jordan 1998 Interview with Ahmad Rashad. This is from a channel called Vault 236. That would be interesting if it was Vault 369. Anyways, I'm actually not subscribed to this channel, but I'm about to be. There I am now, because I love channels that have old interviews like this about basketball players, Jordan in particular. The question is this interview going to be during the 98 season, like before the finals or before the playoffs, or is this after they won their 6th championship? So that I don't know, but what I do know is you rarely see better interviews than with Ahmad Rashad. Ahmad Rashad and Jordan were like best buddies back then. They're best buddies to this day. You know, there's stories told about like, Ahmad was saying like the two of them are literally like sitting on a couch together, watching The Last Dance and all this stuff. So Michael Jordan always trusts Ahmad, and for good reason. And that makes for a great interview because he's not constantly playing, he doesn't constantly have his guard up because he knows Ahmad's not going to send him down a bad path. He's not your usual journalist or reporter. Anyways, all that being said, I'm curious what they talk about. I'm going to link the original video down below in the description like I always do. There you'll also see a list of channel members. Shout out to you guys. I appreciate you all. Excuse me, I got the hiccups for some reason today. And yeah, shout out to members. I appreciate you guys. Like the vid if you could. I'd appreciate it. And without further ado, let's see what this is all about.
So much hype in that matchup in 1991. Magic Johnson, the Lakers, they were like the team of the 80s, and the upstart Bulls. And it was something that you had watched. You watched Larry win championships, you watched Magic, but now all of a sudden it was your turn.
Well, that was the only way I was going to get into their elite club to some degree, was to win a championship. Everything else individually, I thought I was being considered on the same level. But what separated me from Larry Bird and Magic Johnson was, they had championships to back their individual accolades. So, that drove me more so than anything to get into that elite club with the championship.
Can you remember game one, how close it was played, came down to the last shot?
Sure. That was a game that everybody on the team was nervous because of the atmosphere and because of who we were playing. But yet we had a chance to win the game.
Michael, stutter step move, pull up.
I remember that first game very well.
The Los Angeles Lakers steal game one.
After the game, if you ever can have a moral victory from a loss, then that was a moral victory for us.
I'm just pausing it real quick, hoping to avoid the copyright strike from the music in the background. Was that Phil Collins? Anyways.
Because they weren't as tough as we anticipated.
Is that what was the carryover to game two when you guys blew them out?
Blew them out, came out. All we needed to do was calm down and keep our poise and play the game of basketball.
Another one of those shots, game three, final shot. There was no chance that you were not going to take that shot at the end of the game in game three.
Now, Phil gave me the ball full court, and he told me to take my time, do whatever I have to do, get the defense off balance, and go straight to the hole.
Here's Jordan.
Oh, man.
On the pull-up.
He did not take his time. He saw the opening.
With the clutch jump shot.
From that point on, we felt we had an opportunity to win the series, and we never stopped after that.
When you guys won that championship, did you feel like there was a real changing of a guard then? Magic, Lakers stepping aside, Michael Bulls. Were those all the kinds of emotions that flowed through you at the end of that game?
No. I was really happy to prove all the critics wrong about Michael Jordan not making his teammates better, not being able to succeed and win a championship. Those are the things I thought about.
In 92, there came another challenge. It was the Bulls against the...
By the way, not to taint this video, but when it comes to this weird ring culture thing, you see, it was around before Jordan. Jordan had to live up to those expectations in order to be considered truly great. Because he was... We all knew it. He was the best basketball player that we've seen on the court. We've never seen anything like Jordan. But in order to be great, you need to back it up with winning. And he knew that. That was the standard. Larry Bird and Magic Johnson set that standard, and before them, other players set that standard before him. It's always been a tradition. Jordan understood it. No matter how good he is individually, he won't be in the same conversation with those guys, and he wants to be. So guess what? Started winning rings.
Trailblazers,
True.
but it was more so Michael against Clyde.
Yeah.
What was that one like?
Well, we were very similar in our styles to some degree, but yet, everyone was saying that this would determine who's a better guard in the league.
Jordan against Drexler. Clyde against Michael.
See, this is what Michael lived for. He wanted this challenge.
I looked at that as a challenge, and hopefully by the end of that series, people understood the difference.
I think they understood the difference in game one. I mean, you got on a roll. Have you ever been on a roll like that in your athletic career?
Not from the three-point line, and that was just a rhythm.
What time is it?
Jordan firing it in. Oh, no! Three-pointers from Jordan. What in the world is going on?
Once I got into that rhythm, I ran to that three-point line because I felt very confident about that shot.
Jordan for three. Yes! That is an NBA Finals record for three-pointers in a half.
Now, 93, all of a sudden it's the Bulls against Phoenix.
Yeah.
But this is the first time I think that I saw you start
And yes, guys, I'm aware, even in this video, we're talking about the 93 Suns.
feel the weight of maybe not so much basketball, but just the weight of all the other things you have to deal with.
Well, there was a lot of success happening so quickly to a young team, and some of the natural destruction happened, within the team. Some of the personalities start to clash, and it became more individualistic than.
Pause break for the music again. It's probably for nothing. Screw it. I'm just gonna play through it. Shout out to members if this gets copyright claimed. I don't want to be that guy who's just pausing it every 5 seconds. Let's just roll through it.
And the initial attitude, which was, the team was successful.
Keep your head. Go ahead, you do it in the final. Let's go. Keep your head. Everybody get together.
And then it was against Charles, which was, like going against your brother in some respects. You kind of want him to win, but you don't want him to win.
Yeah.
And certainly you don't want him to beat you to win, because you'll never hear the end of it.
Man, Michael Jordan shot the ball 43 times. Damn! That's unbelievable. He gonna be icing his elbow too.
Is there any game in that series that stands out?
Your last game when, Paxson basically stood up and showed his importance to our team. It took a shot like Paxson's to put him away for good.
Here's Paxson for three. Paxson. Yeah! Hit the three. That's the first score by anybody other than Michael Jordan in the entire fourth quarter.
Yep. Did you guys hear that? It was the first points in the entire fourth quarter of that game. That was first point scored by anyone other than Michael Jordan. That's how wild that shot was. But you hear Michael Jordan's not sitting here like pounding his chest going, yeah, well, I scored all the points leading up to that. Nah, man. Right away, he's giving Paxson credit.
Walked up the court after that last game. Did you know then that would be your final game?
No, I didn't know. Although we had talked about it, my father and I, at that time. And, right then, it was just to enjoy the moment, And maybe about a week and a half, 2 weeks later, we really started to entertain those thoughts, about playing baseball. And it's a good time to leave and try to do other things before age caught up with me.
1996, you've retired, you've come back, you led the Bulls to the best record in the NBA. Were the finals different? Did you approach them differently, or did you have a different perspective this time as opposed to the previous 3 times?
Everyone questioned my ability because I basically took it on myself to come back to the game that physically I wasn't ready to play. And people started suspecting my skills, and the motivation came from those comments. And getting back in 1996 to the finals soothed some of that, but it didn't really end it until we won a championship.
That's why I say, you guys, it would have been the worst thing ever for Michael Jordan if they actually won the championship in 95. Because that level of expectation now that would have been on him would not have been healthy. Because think about it. The guy retires for a year and a half or whatever. comes back with 18 games left in the season, and then that's all they needed to win a championship was Michael Jordan coming back. Talk about like the team would get lazy, you know, the drive wouldn't be there anymore, and then the weight of the world. Like Jordan already had to carry the team so often, but then like to know that the team was just expecting him to carry him, because they were not even a winning team, barely. I think they were like a 500 team before Jordan came back. You know, so to take a 500 team and then take them straight to the top of the mountain, that would not have set a good precedent. So this was the best thing that could have happened. The media and everybody started turning on Jordan, doubting him. You know, Jordan's not, he doesn't have it anymore. 45 is not 23, all that stuff. And that's exactly what they needed. You know, so the whole team rallied in order to prove them critics wrong.
The clinching game in this series came on Father's Day.
True.
Ironic. First time
you're
in a situation like this without your father. Right. How special was that?
It was very special. I think it was a signal to some degree that he was supporting me. I hadn't performed without his guidance, but you know, I knew that at some point in time he was with me throughout the course of me playing the game of basketball. And to end it on Father's Day was very, very special. And it was certain emotions that I couldn't really control because I couldn't really enjoy it with the person who I felt influenced at all.
Yeah.
And that meant a lot to me.
1997, Chicago Bulls against the Utah Jazz. Michael Jordan against Karl Malone. Right. What was special about that series?
He just won MVP.
Yep. I knew he was going right there. Jordan always going to talk about what is fueling the fire first. You know, it's not about any narrative or anything else. It's about this guy took something that I wanted. Now I'm going to make him pay.
Which a lot of people felt he was deserving of it, and I felt he was. You know, he put up the numbers consistently each and every year. But I would alter that MVP so that, you know, we can get a world championship. So he had his day or his glory with the MVP of the league. He wasn't about to get it all in 1 year.
Bulls basketball, a chance to win it right here.
Two coaches got the ball inbounds from Pippen, and here is Michael, 4 on the shot clock.
Recurring theme, seems like every championship series. Game 1, last shot, in your hands again.
As a leader, you want to be there for your team. And you've done it so many times that from an emotional standpoint, from a confidence standpoint, you know what to do.
4 on the shot clock now. Keeps it on the dribble. Russell's there.
Poor Russell.
Top of the circle.
Every video.
Russell. Michael hangs, fires, scores! And it goes Woodard! He knocked it in at the buzzer.
He's setting the tone.
How many times has he
And that's a good point by Ahmad. Like, he's really setting the tone in game 1 of these finals. Like, I'm here. You know, we just give us a chance to win, and I'll deliver. I'll bring it home. And that sets a great precedence for the rest of the series going on.
When they give me that ball, I'm taking the weight of the city of Chicago as well as my teammates and the organization to make something happen and to win the game.
One of the highlights in sports, Game 5. You're sick, 103-degree temperature, and one of the greatest performances in any sport. Did that even amaze?
Okay, I'm curious now, because this is from 98. I'd never seen this before. Does Jordan mention the pizza here? Or is it going to go with the flu?
You, the way you played in that game?
I was amazed that I got through the game. I was amazed that I had that much impact on the game. In terms of the way I felt the night before and up to the game and even during the game, I didn't think I was going to succeed.
Stockton, who drives it across, makes a bad pass, and here comes Jordan. Here's that aggressiveness. Pippen's on the right. Here's the pass for the layup, missed it, and a slam by Jordan.
This will be the guttiest performance maybe all time.
The motivation was, I've always been there for my team. As long as I'm able to walk and run and shoot.
Wants to go on Hornacek. Demanded the ball. Back Michael. Open 3. Yes! They lead it. 38 points for the King.
Stuck a dagger at him with a 3.
Yes!
To do that and be successful, win a game, it's gratifying that you have pushed yourself to past a point that you didn't even think you can get past.
Game 6, another one of those scenarios where everybody thinks you're going to take the shot. Steve Kerr takes the shot. What went on in that timeout just before that?
John Stockton was gambling and just running all over the place. And I'm pretty sure after what happened in game 1, where if I get in an isolated situation, no way are they going to let me isolate against Brian Russell.
Okay, so that's how he knew that Kerr was going to be open ahead of time, as we're about to see right here. Because it was the entire game that John Stockton was basically, he was cheating off of his defender, which makes sense because at the point guard position, it is usually where the Bulls are the weakest. So, yeah, double up onto the shooting guard Jordan makes absolute sense. Okay.
And I told Steve the time out before, don't be shocked if I find you open, you can shoot the shot.
Say it louder, Steve.
Scoop if anybody
I love this.
Jordan takes a shot. 6 seconds.
Yep, there's Stockton cheating. Not the best angle, but we've seen it before. I stand by. It must have been great to live in Chicago during the 90s.
It's my privilege to represent the great fans of Chicago and basketball fans around the world. Quite simply, to present Michael Jordan with his 5th NBA Most Valuable Player trophy.
Crazy. He could have won 10.
My respect for you is based on...
I hope we don't look back at Jokic and say the same thing. He could have had 10. Because I could already point out twice where Jokic deserved MVP and didn't get it. Just out of voter fatigue itself.
The position that I've watched you play hundreds of times.
Wow.
And every night you play like Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
And that's been going on for a long time. You have an insane...
And Bill Russell and him used to talk trash, busting chops. So to get that kind of praise from Bill Russell, that's got to be... I mean, look at the smile.
That's been going on for a long time.
That's got to feel great, man. Damn. 2 legends right there.
You have an insatiable desire or need to win championships. You won 5. If you win 6, is that enough? Or do you need 7, 8?
Oh, okay, so this is before. This is before he wins 6. All right. Interesting.
8.
As long as I'm playing, the goal is to win a championship now. And a lot has to be said and done, to see if everybody's still playing. But as long as I'm playing, the ultimate result is to a championship.
Kittles against Jordan. Knocked away, stolen by Michael. MJ on the rock. Michael dumps the ball and a foul.
Michael Jordan is the kind of guy you never look in the eye during the contest. He's like a pit bull. If you look at a pit bull in the eye, he takes that as a challenge, and he's going to bite you.
Yeah, it's true.
Trying to beat the clock coming to the end. Hold on, 3.
This is a war of wills. And Michael Jordan, he's got one of the strongest wills ever. That's what makes him so great.
9 seconds, 8, 7. Jordan against Miller.
Look at him smiling in the moment.
Spins in, pump fakes, falls, fires, banker good.
This guy is an assassin in shorts.
Look at Larry Bird, like, God damn it. Like, what the hell? He started doing this crap to me in 86, and he's still doing it to me in 98. Stop it.
It's tough. Michael Jordan's the best basketball player that ever played, and he still is, and there's no question about it.
Yep.
I feel
And
proud.
once again, coming from Larry Legend, yeah, these are very reliable sources.
When coaches say, well, no one else is going to win until Michael leaves the game. True. That's the way I believe it.
You're going to have to cut Michael Jordan's heart out to beat him. Because people don't understand that's his greatest talent. It's not his jumping or his jump shot or his defense. It's his inner guts and his inner heart as a competitor.
Michael's a person who takes everything as a challenge. And the bigger the challenge, the better he plays.
You can see the opposition's eyes all of a sudden getting a little bit frustrated, and as a result, the rest of us pick up that much more confidence and kind of go for the kill.
Could dream the impossible dream.
Oh, Jordan is
fight the unbeatable foe.
This music is classic here.
From him. His determination to get back down the floor to try to get to that shot was, without a doubt, I've never seen a guy compete that hard.
Oh, yeah. How many times have we seen Jordan do this? How many times have we seen Jordan do that? He doesn't just make a mistake and then throw his hands up and complain to the refs. He goes to get the damn ball back. My ball.
That part of it is special as far as I was concerned, and it always will be something I'll remember about him.
Sure, physically we may be a little tired, but we got the heart. Our heart is not tired.
Oh, good song. Bob Seger.
What about the fact of repeating again, the historical factor? Or as long as you're playing, the goal is to win the championship?
Well, as long as I'm still playing, you guys still got to come through Chicago. I don't care how good you are, how inspired your coach may make you. You still got to come take this away from us. And it's not that easy.
All right, my apologies. That one ended really abruptly. That was a great interview. And this was before, I'm not sure at what point, but sometime in 1998 and before the NBA Finals. And here he is basically setting that expectation. You can't win until I leave. It's just wild. Because the only time I remember him saying that was, from The Last Dance. And it was after they won their sixth championship. And it was him and Scotty like celebrating with a beer or champagne, or I forget what it is, but they were sitting down and just laughing, saying like, they can't win till we quit. They can't win till we quit. But apparently he's been saying this. He was saying it the entire year. They can't win until we're gone. So I don't know. It's just crazy that he played with this level of expectation that he set on himself. And we also had a huge level of expectations for him. And he just lived up to he surpassed every single one of them. That's the thing that blows my mind. And he was just like chill about it. Like, yeah, that's just me. That's just who I am. Also, I thought it was kind of interesting hearing about the team in 93. Like the growing pains going on, because that's not something a lot of people talk about. But I guess there were some personality clashes and things like that behind the scenes that we just didn't know about. And I could totally understand that after winning 3 straight, there were probably some players that wanted a big pay raise. And it makes sense too. I know Horace Grant went over to Orlando and he got a payday and played a different role out there. BJ Armstrong, I always assumed he left for the payday, but now from that Johnny Arnett video I remember watching about the expansion era, that the Bulls did not protect him. They let him go to the expansion team. And I'm starting to wonder, I wish I could ask BJ himself, but was that because it was kind of a worked out deal? Like he wants to get a bigger contract and he knows he couldn't get that in Chicago, so like set him free kind of thing. I'm very curious about it. But anyways, you guys, I thought this was a great interview. What happens after this? The Bulls win their 6th championship. Go figure. Jordan wins another finals MVP, and then Jerry Krause, El Diablo, blows up the entire team, fires the coach, all this stuff. And the ending of the story will never make sense to me, but that's really the way it went down. Anyways, you guys, let me know what you thought. I'm always down for more interviews like this, and hopefully you guys are too, because there's a lot of them. I love YouTube. You can find freaking anything. Guys, I'm heading out. I'll see you in the comments. Like the vid if you haven't done so yet. Check out this channel, Volt236. Link down below in the description for you if you're curious about what else is on the channel. And most importantly, subscribe to my channel. But most importantly is to be water, my friends. See you in the comments.